Here's the big market guru on his call on India on the sidelines of the IEC 2023. Mark Mobius believes that there are several opportunities in India, prefers software and healthcare stocks.
Well, I think the markets are going to do very well, particularly here in India. As you know, India is one of the fastest growing countries in the world, and I think the Indian market is going to continue to do well. Of course, there'll be declines from time to time, but these will be very temporary. The opportunities are so great here. And as far as the U.S. market is concerned, I believe that market will do as well, because now the whole business of the budget has been passed, and now there's no problem of the dollar being rated as a result of the deficit problem.
So, Mark, just a while back, Indian markets along with global markets were rallying in anticipation that probably the data is showing that inflation has peaked out and that worry is over.
Yes.
Then came Fed and our own central bank also saying that it is just a pause, not a pivot. And market got a bit nervous. What is the reality in your view?
The reality is that money supply has gone down precipitously. It's an amazing event. And that means that inflation will be coming down. It's already happening. So I believe the central banks are being maybe too cautious at this stage.
Okay, so they don't want to err on that side. So probably they're actually being a little extra cautious is what you're saying.
Exactly.
The other thing about India, what stood out this quarterly season was the quality of earnings. By and large, the earnings were either in line or better than estimates. Street was scared. And yes, yesterday evening, even the fourth quarter GDP data was a pleasant surprise. What are these things indicating about the future of stock markets for the next few quarters in your view?
What it means is that because of the 7% growth that we're looking at for this country, companies are going to do very well. Because usually the earnings of good companies with good return on capital will be double that of the GDP growth. So we're looking at 14% earnings per share growth for many, many companies. So I believe the outlook is excellent.
So out of all the emerging markets which you study, where does India stack right now in its attractiveness?
Highest. India is the highest.
India is the most attractive emerging market in your view?
Attractive, yes, exactly.
Okay. Does it also mean that at Mobius Capital you are hiking your exposure to India?
We're constantly hiking our exposure here and looking at new opportunities here, definitely.
So what's your research team telling you? What kind of opportunity are you studying and analyzing?
What we like now is the software industry to begin with. I believe going forward the hardware, in other words technology hardware, is going to be very big in India. No listed companies yet, but we're looking at that sector. Healthcare, as you know, is going to be very, very good here, already is doing very well. And look, any company that's adopting technology in India is going to do well, even in the area of infrastructure and in terms of manufacturing. We're going to be looking at those companies as well.
You spoke about hardware. That's a very differentiating point. We speak to fund managers across the world. Nobody has touched that point, so I'd like to scratch it a little more. The closest to hardware, technology hardware, which comes to are electronic manufacturing companies.
Exactly.
There are a handful of them, half a dozen, and this sector appears to be opening up. So do you like electronic manufacturing, which is very technology backed here in India?
I believe India is going to become a leader in that area. Of course, right now it's China and Taiwan are the leaders, and Korea. But I believe India is going to take the place of many of these countries because population is 1 billion people to begin with, many opportunities. And in addition to that, you're seeing the import now of companies coming in to manufacture. iPhones, for example, are being manufactured now. When you have a company like that coming in, all the subsidiary companies, the component manufacturers have to come to India. So there's going to be a big future in that area.
So Indian markets, after a 19-month kind of a hiatus, have come back to same levels, and it appears that they are climbing higher. Are we at the start of a new bull run as far as Indian markets go?
I believe we're on a long-term bull run here. There will be always corrections along the way, but generally speaking, we're on a long-term bull run for India.
Give us a sneak peek into your new book as well. Why did you choose to write about inflation myth and the wonderful world of deflation? Are we heading into that direction now?
Well, what I say in the book is, first of all, the way inflation is measured with the consumer price index is very bad. It's very false. Lots of errors along the way. So central banks are basing their information on a false narrative. Secondly, because of technology, we're entering a period of deflation, which of course many economists hate deflation because they say it means you're not going to have growth. But you can have deflation and growth at the same time, because if the company or country is productive, they're going to be producing more and more goods and services at lower and lower prices.
Okay, just last two questions. What are your top 3-4 biggest holdings in Indian market right now?
Right now, we are involved in technology, in software, and we're involved in a company doing the pipes and tubings, and then we're also in medical testing.